Welcome to our top 10 favourite TV westerns of the 1950s. Hope you enjoy it.
Number 10. Tales of Wells Fargo.
Debuting on American TV in 1957, gravel-voiced Dale Robertson played Jim Hardy, a roving investigator and special agent for Wells Fargo, who drew with his left hand and punched with his right. The actor also serves as narrator, giving to statements such as, "I'm Jim Hardy, and only the good Lord and the company know where I'll be tomorrow." Sound like trouble? Trouble's my business.
Number 9. Maverick.
One of the most popular of the Warner Brothers TV westerns, Maverick initially featured the humorous adventures of a card sharp Brett Maverick, played by James Garner. Jack Kelly then joined the series in the 8th episode as Brett's brother, Bart. From then on, Garner and Kelly would appear in alternate episodes, occasionally teaming up every now and then as required by the storyline. After Garner left the show in 1960, his shoes were filled by Roger Moore as Cousin Bo. James Garner and the role of Brett Maverick, however, became so intertwined over time that it was inevitable he would appear in the big screen version of Maverick in 1994.
Number 8. Gunsmoke.
The first episode of what was to become one of the longest running shows on American TV was shown in September 1955, featuring James Arness as Marshal Matt Dillon. The other main characters in Gunsmoke included Dennis Weaver as Chester, Amanda Blake as Miss Kitty, and Milburn Stone as Doc Adams. Other recurring characters over the 20 years that the show ran for, ending in 1975, was a young Burt Reynolds as town blacksmith Quint Asper, as well as Ken Curtis, who played Festus Hagen in the style of Charlie McCory, the character he portrayed in The Searchers back in 1956.
Number 7. Cheyenne.
Debuting September 1955, Cheyenne was the first Warner Brothers TV Western series to grace the small screen. The lead role went to 6-foot-tall Clint Walker, who played lone as Cheyenne Bodie for 7 years and 180 episodes. The series attracted some notable guest stars throughout its run, the very first episode featuring James Garner, as well as L.Q. Jones, who played the short-lived role of sidekick Smitty. As you can see, Mr. Walker was occasionally required to display his beefcake physique, which must have set hearts a-fluttering amongst his many fans.
Number 5. Have Gun Will Travel.
Following the adventures of the enigmatic Paladin, the series debuted in September 1957 and made a huge star of Richard Boone in a role that would be associated with him for the rest of his life. As a latter-day knight, he was available for hire as an investigator, gunman, sword fighter, and an expert in martial arts. Paladin located his headquarters at Hotel Carlton in San Francisco, where he also displayed a proficiency in chess, poker, and piano playing as a cover for his real job as a mercenary.
Number 5. Bronco.
The character of Bronco Lane first appeared in Cheyenne, with Ty Harding playing the country cousin of Cheyenne Bodie, when Clint Walker and Warner Brothers were involved in a contract dispute. Harding attracted quite a following, and so was rewarded with his own spin-off series, which ran from 1958 to 1962. For a while, the series alternated weekly with another Warner Brothers TV western, Sugarfoot, starring Will Hutchins. Both Harding and Hutchins guest starring in each other's show as their respective characters.
Number 4. Wagon Train.
Wagon Train, which was supposedly based upon the 1950 John Ford Western Wagon Master, debuted in September 1957. Starring Ward Bond as Major Seth Adams and Robert Horton as Trail Scout Flint McCullough. The show, which ran until 1965, was so well received that at one point it overtook Gunsmoke in the ratings, making it for a while the most popular TV programme in America. After Bond suddenly passed away in 1960, he was replaced by John McIntyre as Chris Howell, and those wagons kept on a-rolling for another 4 years. In 1962, Horton also left the show, and Robert Fuller, fresh from Laramie, took over as Scout Cooper Smith.
Number 3. Wanted, Dead or Alive.
The initial episode, which starred Steve McQueen as bounty hunter Josh Randall, first hit the small screen in September 1958. The series ran for 3 seasons and 94 half-hour episodes, McQueen's sawn-off Winchester-toting character a spin-off from an earlier TV western entitled Trackdown. Randall isn't exactly the epitome of your usual hard-nosed bounty hunter, being possessed of more of a soft heart as opposed to an itchy trigger finger. Wanted Dead or Alive obviously made an impression on Quentin Tarantino, the director specifically referencing both the show and McQueen as regards to bounty lore. The fictional TV western featured in his most recent film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Number 2. Bonanza.
Arriving on American TV in September 1959, Bonanza introduced some of the most famous TV cowboy characters of all time, enthralling audiences each week with the adventures of the Cartwright family. Consisting of Patriarch Ben, played by Lorne Greene, and brothers Little Joe, Adam and Hoss, played respectively by Michael Landon, Pernell Roberts and Dan Blocker. The cast changed a number of times over its 13-year run, with Pernell Roberts jumping ship in 1965 to pursue a career in the theatre. Sadly, Dan Blocker, who to a lot of viewers played the most popular character in the series, suddenly passed away in 1972 at the age of 43. But hey, what a great theme tune.
And at number 1, Rawhide.
Based on a number of sources, including the Howard Hawks' John Wayne western Red River, Rawhide starred charismatic actor Eric Fleming as trail boss Gil Favor. The popularity of the show was bolstered by the presence of gangly, unknown actor Clint Eastwood, and the most famous TV western theme of all time. Hitting the airwaves in January 1959 and running for just over 7 years, Fleming and Eastwood were accompanied by regular castmates, including Paul Brinegar as cantankerous cook Wishbone, and Sheb Woolley as Scout Pete Nolan. Clint took over as trail boss when Fleming left the series in 1965, before he too decided it was time to keep on moving. Whatever happened to that guy? Please like and subscribe.